Hi everyone, my name is Aviad. I'm a senior developer at Oraplayer. And in our previous video, we discussed the common task of deploying an application from one environment to another environment. And we showed how we are doing that using an easy utilities of backup and restore that wraps all the application and all its subcomponents in one file, and then it is easy to move it to a different environment. But by the end of this video, we also showed that there is another issue. If our components points to external system, for example, in our case it would be Oracle EBS, and these pointers, for example, are URLs, the specific value of these URLs will move from one environment to the other environment. And sometimes this is not correct. Sometimes we have different instances of the external systems that we are working with in different environments. So for example, we might have a development instance of Oracle EBS that we work with in our development process, with our development environment, and then on the staging environment we might be needing to link our application to another or different instance of the Oracle EBS. So how would we do that? I mean, once we restore the application, we got the same value as we have on the development environment, and now we need to change it. We can, of course, edit it and change it manually, the value, but if we will do that, we would need to do that on all the components that have these links. So we would need to go for all the services one by one and change it. We don't want to do that. This is a process that might take time. So the way that we are dealing with it is we are using environment variables. Environment variables are a common practice. Environment variables is a way to set an environment variable, a name in which we could set specific value that will match for specific environment. And then in all the places that we would need this value, we won't point to the explicit value, but only to the variable name. So in Service Manager, we will go to the admin. We have here system properties and a section for environment variables. And I've already created an environment variable called EBS machine with some explicit value for this environment. And now I will use this variable and go to my services. And let's edit the service that points to the explicit URL. And instead of using explicit value, I will replace it with a pointer to my environment variable. This is how we do it in Service Manager. So now my service is pointing to an environment variable as a prefix and not to specific value that may change between environments. So when I'll back up the application and components right now, let's do that. So now I'm backing up the application and all the components, and now I will go to my other system and I will restore the backup file. Just waiting for it to finish. Here it is. So now I will restore the version with the environment variables. And it will tell me that I need to set an environment variable as a warning. This is something that will be shown only once until I'll fix it. So I'll get here to my development environment, I'll copy the environment variable, go to my other environment, add this new environment variable, and of course I may change the value here to a specific value for this environment. And then when I will go to the service that was previously linked to specific value, I'll see that it points to the environment variable. So from now on, whenever I will deploy a new version of this application from the development environment to the staging environment, I won't be need to worry about these explicit values, because now it is linked to environment variables, and once I've set it, and I need to set it only once, the environment variable, I'll have a smooth process of deploying the application from the development environment to the staging environment, and they will all point to the proper EBS system which match to this environment. So this is how we solve the external references issues in the deployment process. Thank you.